Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 70 Luffy goes to the blue and white star. This is very simple. Shichen nodded when he heard it, and then Luffy, who was far away in countless worlds, discovered the changes in himself. The body that was originally a ghost demon gradually changed and gradually turned back to its original appearance close to humans. At this time, the subordinates on the office also discovered the changes in themselves, which surprised everyone, and they hurriedly found Luffy. General, the three extreme sins on us seem to be gone. As the three captains under Luffy, Amos, Jiao Shafii, and Kufins found Luffy directly. I know about this. I know an adult who purified the three extreme sins that King Pier blessed us with. We don't have to be neither human nor ghost. Luffy smiled at the three people. The people present were all his most loyal subordinates, and Amos was his biological son, but no one knew it and just thought he was his adopted son. This matter must not be spread outside. You and the people below can just find a reason to explain it. Luffy thought about it and reminded the three people. Yes, General. The three nodded when they heard this. The General's affairs were not something they could speculate on. General, should we still follow the original plan to seize the planetary energy crystals? Enmaisu suddenly asked at this time. Enmaisu is different from Luffy. Even if he turns into a ghost demon, he is also kind-hearted. In the original plot, he helped Li Haoshan several times and became good friends with him. When Luffy decided to destroy the Earth in the end, he stood up to stop him and was eventually killed by Emperor Yan. Looking at his son, Luffy was filled with emotion. Before, he was affected by the three sins of greed, anger, and ignorance, and his original heart of justice was gradually affected, while his son always maintained a kind heart and was always ignored by him. There are many ways to seek revenge on King Pier. The other party will be driven out of power for corruption in 1,000 years. At that time, his revenge will be very simple, but he does not want to do this. He wants to take revenge himself. Originally, he planned to obtain more than half of the energy crystals in the entire Milky Way, and then he would be able to rule the Milky Way, but now he can't do this. More than 1,000 years is not a long time for them. Now they can find a planet to practice for more than 1,000 years, and then go to King Pier to seek revenge. Thinking of this, Luffy looked at Amos and said, "No need, let's go directly to the solar system." Solar system? General, what are we going there for? Amos was puzzled. To find a planet called Blue and White Star, Earth, dot. Luffy said casually. Yes, General. The three of them didn't say much and turned around to go back. Wait a minute, let's go to Shadow Star first. Luffy thought about it and suddenly said, Shadow Star. Amos was puzzled when he heard it. It was an uninhabited planet before, but it was occupied by some guys from the Dark Universe, so it was named Shadow Star. The guys in the Dark Universe are not easy to provoke. Their leader, Shadow Emperor, and the leader of the Bright World of the Bright Universe, Emperor Xia, have been fighting each other for thousands of years, which shows how powerful they are. Although King Pier is the ruler of the Milky Way, he can only bow down when facing the Bright World. This is mainly because of the existence of the Emperor Armor, which represents the Heavenly Deo and can travel through other universes. It is the incarnation of the Heavenly Deo. The fact that the Shadow Emperor has been able to fight against it for so many years shows the strength of the other party. It is probably not a wise move for me and others to provoke them. It doesn't matter. The Shadow Star is just a transit station for them to attack the Blue and White Star. I am still looking forward to the legendary Heavenly Deo Armor. We will have a chance to meet them in the future. Luffy knew that even if he and others had the Shura Armor and the Genki Vajra, they could not fight against King Pierre. Amos and others have only heard of the supernatural beasts and have not fought with them, but the reputation of the Emperor Armor has been heard in all universes. Luffy, who knows all the plots, is even more aware of its power. In fact, King Pierre is not that strong, but the 7 legions under his command are too strong. Even if his Netherworld Legion defected, it would not be his opponent. What he wants now is to wash away his grievances. The stronger Shadow Emperor was not someone he could fight against at the moment, but since he had decided to join the Light Camp, he had to show his attitude and not be easily killed by the Emperor Armor. Seeing that Luffy had made up his mind, the others stopped talking and returned to their respective teams after saluting. With the powerful ability of the Office spacecraft, it would not take long to reach the Blue and White Star even if it was 70,000 light years away. And the Shadow Star was a planet not far from the Earth, and he and his companions would be able to reach it soon. After a while, Luffy's spacecraft arrived outside the Shadow Star. Looking at the gloomy planet, Luffy did not intend to go down. If he understood correctly, there should be no supernatural beasts on the Shadow Star at this time. They should have ambushed on the Earth at this time. Turning on the detection device on the spacecraft, he quickly found out the situation on the Shadow Star. There was not even a single supernatural beast here. He ordered his men to turn on the ion cannon and blast it directly at the Shadow Star below. In an instant, a planet turned into ashes, leaving only a planet energy crystal. Luffy put away the planet energy crystal and ordered his men to move towards the Earth. Although he no longer wanted to collect energy crystals, this thing was also a collection of energy from a planet, and it was a very precious thing. It was good to have it in his hands. Soon, a group of troops came to the sky above the Earth, and the Office landed directly on the Earth, and then Luffy led everyone to hide. At this time, he came to the Earth a few hundred years earlier than the original plot. After all, he did not spend time collecting energy crystals, so he had not been discovered by King Pierre's men. General, what are we going to do next? The 3 captains came to Luffy again and asked him. You go find a place as our base. We will come out again after 1,000 years. I will teach you a new method of cultivation. Then we will return to Ares together and overthrow King Pierre's rule. Luffy thought about it and said to everyone. He had his considerations for coming to the Earth. After 1,000 years, people from the Dark Universe will come here, and then he will want to collect the data of the Emperor Armor. For this legendary heavenly armor, he has longed for it for a long time. Although the Shura armor in his hand is very strong, it is not enough to face the Emperor Armor. He doesn't dare to ask for the real Emperor armor at present, but if he can collect the data of Emperor armor, he will have the hope to upgrade Shura armor. Shura armor is only the special armor of Emperor Yan. He can be defeated by the army led by himself, which is enough to prove that this armor is not the strongest. As for Xin Tian armor, it is just a set of armor mass-produced on Ares. Although it can be upgraded, it is extremely difficult and it is still a little short of Shura armor. The upper limit of armor is actually similar. Everything depends on the summoner's will. In theory, even Xin Tian armor can be upgraded to the level of Emperor armor. However, the lower limit of armor is different. As long as you can wear Emperor armor, even if it is the upgraded Xin Tian armor, a novice Emperor armor summoner can also fight with the opponent on equal terms, but whether you can win depends on the will of both parties. At this time, while Lufa was looking for the location of the base, he began to look for a method suitable for his own cultivation in the chat group. He wanted to defeat King Pier after more than 1,000 years. With his original resources, there was no way unless he collected planetary energy crystals. Now, he has the supply of the heavens and the worlds, and there is always a method suitable for him. And every new member who joins the group has a chance to choose a method for free, which is very powerful. Many things he has never heard of opened his eyes. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 71, Xin Tian Team meets Lufa, Part 1. Lufa carefully looked at the exercises related to improving mental ability, which was the most important to him. Imagination can be understood as a kind of spiritual energy, just like the divine thoughts in the novels about cultivating immortals. The stronger the intention, the stronger the armor summoned. And with strong mental energy, you can achieve various incredible abilities, such as flying, escaping from the ground, teleportation, moving objects through the air, etc. Not only that, with Lufa's current willpower, he can transfer and hide his body into any object at will, even in the air, mentioned by Gorva in the original drama. The 5 elements heavenly evolution technique seems to be the most suitable method for me to practice my mental energy at present. It can absorb the 5 elements of energy in the universe. My current mental energy cultivation speed can be even faster if it is added to it. It enhances the energy of the mind and has the attributes of the 5 elements, transforming the righteousness of the summoned Shura armor into the energy of the 5 elements. Lufa quickly found a skill that gave him the power of the 5 elements. If my 5 elements intention can be improved to a strong enough level, I may even have the opportunity to use the Emperor's armor. This is the main reason why Lufa decided to use this technique. He was obsessed with the Emperor's armor. The Emperor's armor possesses the 5 elements of light energy, and this energy is later reflected in the blood of the 5 elements village. Therefore, in the end, the 5 armored warriors can merge into the Emperor's man. This is also related to their mutual trust and the strength of their willpower. At the same time, somewhere in the solar system not far from the Earth, 3 spacecraft teams are patrolling here. Today's Earth is under the rule of Ares and part of the Milky Way. In their eyes, it is called the Blue and White Star. At this time, the Xin Tian team is patrolling the solar system, which is a task they often complete. The original plot was that when the Xin Tian team was patrolling, they discovered that the life energy crystals of the nearby planets had disappeared. They finally found Lufa and fought on the Earth, and everyone died together. Captain, when we pass by the Blue and White Star later, can we stop by and eat the delicacies there? The delicacies of the alien planet make me miss it so much. On the Thunder Cold, the King Kong armor said to Xin Tian. A few people often patrol here, so they have come to Earth to eat many times. The other 2 are not interested in it, but King Kong likes the food here very much. We'll wait until we finish our patrol mission first. Blue and White Star is the last stop. If we have enough time after patrolling the solar system, we can allow you to eat some. The voice of Xin Tian armor Gorfa came from the fire horse, and his tone was quite for helplessness. The technology of the Ares planet is extremely advanced, so their communication is intentional, and they can hear each other even in a vacuum. Not only that, they can also recognize the languages of other planets and convert them directly into the language they understand. Captain, there seems to be something going on. There is a high-intensity unknown energy reaction on the Blue and White Star. At this time, Fei Ying's voice came, making Xin Tian quickly look at the Earth. We rushed to the Blue and White Star as soon as possible. Considering the life science and technology there is a gap of more than 2,000 years from the energy reaction we detected. It is impossible for such a high energy reaction to occur. It seems that there is something we don't know about. It happened. After hearing this, Gorfa checked it and then ordered to the 2 of them. Receive. Receive. Fei Ying and King Kong responded immediately after hearing the words, and then drove the aircraft to the Earth together. Soon, the 3 of them landed near the energy reaction area. When they looked up, a huge spaceship appeared in front of them. It was Lufa's Alphys. Captain, this seems to be the Alpha spacecraft that General Lufa and the others robbed when they defected. So General Lufa is on the Blue and White Star. Fei Ying looked at the spaceship in the distance and said to Xin Tian. Yes, it seems that we need to be more careful. We don't know their purpose yet. We are mainly focusing on investigation at the moment and try not to confront them head on. If that doesn't work, we will call in other armor teams to arrest them. Looking at the huge spaceship, they were reminded to be careful. Let me see who this is. It turns out to be our Xin Tian armor team. What, are you here to take us back? At this time, a voice came from behind the 3 of them, making the 3 of them immediately startled. Turning around, I didn't expect that it was Mixio, Kuzi, and Jiao Shafii. At this time, the 3 of them were looking at Xingtian's team with a playful look on their faces. Although they no longer have armor, the current Xingtian team was also trained by them, and they are not afraid of the 3 members of the Xingtian team. Captain? Is it really you? King Kong was a little excited when he saw this. After all, they were his seniors. 3 seniors, why did you come to Blue and White Star? This is not the place you should come to. Xingtian is the captain after all, and he is relatively calm when facing the 3 of them. What happens to us is beyond your control. What, you also want to reprimand us? Jiao Shifei smiled when he heard this, and then asked Xin Tian. I dare not, but 3 captains, your nether troops have been issued a second-level seal arrest order by King Peel. We need to arrest you and bring you to justice. Xin Tian said firmly when he saw this. Even if the other party is his former senior, since he betrayed his motherland, he needs to accept legal sanctions. As members of the Xin Tian team, they did not know what was going on between King Pierre and Lufa, but what they had to do was to faithfully execute King Pierre's orders and go all out to capture Lufa and others. It seems that you have really forgotten our teachings. You dare to talk to us like this. Let me teach you a lesson. Seeing this, Kufansi was furious and was about to go forward to fight with Xin Tian and the others. Kufans, don't be impulsive. Don't forget what the general warned us. Since the 3 extreme sins on us have disappeared, sooner or later we will kill back. Don't ruin the general's plan. Seeing this, Amos grabbed Kufansi who wanted to fight and used the road method to suppress him. Damn it, if it weren't for the general, I would definitely teach you a lesson. Kufansi clenched his fist and said angrily to the 3 people. The development of this situation made the 3 people of Xin Tian on the opposite side stunned. Why did they feel that they didn't shout and kill right away? It was a pity that they had been on guard for so long. Let's go. The general has something to find you. Amos calmed Kufansi, and then said to Xin Tian and the other 2. After that, he led the way directly in front. Kufansi and Jiao Shifei had no choice but to follow. General, looking for us. Xin Tian was stunned when he heard this. There was no other way at the moment, so he could only follow and see. Several people quickly came to where Lufa was, and then Amos and others stopped and waited quietly for Lufa to speak. General, why did you defect to Ares? Xin Tian's team saw Lufa appear and couldn't help asking him. This was something they had never known. As a great hero of Ares, Lufa has always been loved by the people, but this time, the news of their defection suddenly spread, making everyone guess. Gorfa, you are here. Lufa looked at the 3 people in front of him, feeling a little emotional. These 3 people used to be his subordinates, and they were even trained by his subordinates personally. Now he has become a stray dog, but they represent the law enforcement team. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 72, Xin Tian Team meets Lufa, Part 2. Give me your armor data, and I won't pursue you. Lufa looked at the Xin Tian team in front of him and said to the 3 people. Impossible, you are now a wanted criminal in the entire galaxy, and you are no longer qualified to wear armor. Even if we die for our country today, we will never give you the armor. Xin Tian was shocked when he heard this, and said without thinking. The 3 extreme sins of greed, anger, and ignorance are gone now. Doesn't this explain the matter? Lufa smiled when he heard this, and asked the 3 people in return. General, what happened? King Kong couldn't help asking, he still didn't know why the general defected. Gorfa, you can use the armor to go back 1,000 years later, I can let you see whether we are good or evil. Lufa thought about it, and still patiently said to Xin Tian. This. Xin Tian was stunned when he heard this, and then looked at his 2 teammates and nodded. Energy boost, target 1,200 years later. As he said this, Xin Tian directly used the armor summoner on his waist, and his mind energy instantly went to more than 1,000 years later. The next second, Xin Tian returned directly to the present. Nodding to his 2 companions, Xin Tian looked at Lufa with complicated eyes. General, it seems that we misunderstood you. I have seen things more than 1,000 years later. Our enemies are not you. Xin Tian said slowly to Lufa. Oh, what did you see? Lufa was stunned when he heard this. He didn't know what other enemies this guy saw. It's a group of guys from the Dark Universe, and other armor summoners. Xin Tian thought for a while and said. Interesting. Lufa nodded when he heard this. However, there is one thing I can't see at all. The things about General Lufa seem to be deliberately blocked by something. Xin Tian continued. Blocked, could it be? Lufa was stunned when he heard this, and then he seemed to think of something, that is, what happened to him recently. That being said, I saw the predecessors fighting against a group of evil enemies, and a pair of eyes found me when I traveled through time and space. Xin Tian's words shocked everyone. Someone can actually see the energy that came 1,000 years ago, and the other party looked directly at him. Fortunately, the other party had no ill intentions, otherwise something unpredictable might happen. It must be a powerful existence in the universe. Xin Tian had never heard of such a powerful existence, but it made him feel familiar. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but look up at Lufa. So that's it, I understand. General, although I don't know what happened to you, I can trust you. I will transfer the armor data to you now. Xin Tian suddenly said at this time. Captain, what's going on? Fei Ying and King Kong were shocked when they heard the words. The captain was the most stable among the 3 of them, so they have always been very obedient to the captain's decision, but now they suddenly acted to help the enemy, which made them very confused. Brothers, do you believe me? If you believe me, give the armor data to the general. Xin Tian looked at the 2 of them and said seriously. I understand, we are a team. Without you, the captain, I'm afraid I would have died long ago. Fei Ying was stunned when he heard the words, and then smiled at Xin Tian. Alas, I'm stupid. Since you all said so, I have nothing to hesitate about. King Kong touched his head and said a little silly. He never likes to use his brain, just listen to his teammates, but he also has his own judgment. Since both of them choose to do this, they must have their reasons, so he doesn't need to be serious. Captain, we will transmit the armor data to you now. Xin Tian nodded and looked at Lufa. No problem, we didn't train you in vain. Lufa smiled and said. After a long time, Lufa collected all the armor data and looked at the Xin Tian team. I hope that we don't tell King Pierre about our affairs on the Blue and White Star. I can tell you clearly that he will be driven out of power in more than 1,000 years. At this time, Lufa looked at the Xin Tian team and said. General, what do you mean by this? Are you going to overthrow King Pierre's rule? Fei Ying was shocked when he heard the words, and hurriedly asked Lu Fa. Haha, if it were me, he would only die. Lu Fa sneered when he heard the words. We understand, don't worry, General, we won't leak your information. Xin Tian nodded when he heard the words, as if he understood something. Given Lufa's relationship with King Pierre, something must have happened between them, but it's not something that a mere armor team can understand. General, we will leave a set of armor here, hoping to help you 1,000 years later. Xin Tian said at this time. No, come again after 100 years, and I will give you a new armor summoner. Then you can find suitable secret practitioners, hidden practitioners, and magic practitioners, and let them pass on the armor. Luffy shook his head when he heard this. He could use his own office spacecraft to produce it. After all, it's just a set of mass-produced armor, and his own spacecraft can be made by himself. Otherwise, what do you think such a large spacecraft is for? Can it only transform into a robot? I understand. In this case, General, we will come again in 100 years. Xin Tian nodded when he heard this, and then prepared to leave. Dwarfa, why did you come here without even saying hello to your senior sister? At this time, a woman came over. It was Garat. In the original plot, Kula possessed the body of Yuzu's ancestor, causing her family to suffer for 1,000 years, but now the 3 extreme sins in her body have disappeared, so she has also restored her kind nature. Although not every former member of the Netherworld army was kind, they all obeyed orders. After being sentenced to the 3 sins of greed, anger, and ignorance, they only magnified the sins in their hearts infinitely, so they appeared directly as Netherworld demons. Sorry, senior sister, we just finished talking to the general and were about to continue patrolling. I forgot that senior sister was still here. Dwarfa was stunned when he heard the words, and then saw Kula in front of him. When he joined Luffy's army, he was the worst among all people. No one was optimistic about him. Only Kula, as a senior sister, had been patiently teaching him, so that he could now be the captain of the Xin Tian team. So in the original plot, all the Netherworld demons were destroyed, and only Kula was spared by him, which eventually led to 1,000 years of suffering for the Tibetan cultivators. You are no longer the young boy you were before. You even dared to attack us. I will teach you a lesson next time you come. Kula even took out his weapon and gestured twice. That. Senior sister, we will leave first. We will come back in 100 years. Seeing this, Xin Tian did not dare to stay and led the 2 of them to leave the earth directly. If they were still nether demons, he could issue a seal arrest order against them. But now the 3 extreme sins on Luffy's troops are gone, and they will be needed to fight against the darkness in the future. For the stability of the Milky Way, he had to choose to cooperate with Luffy. Kula, don't tease this kid anymore. You don't have armor now, and you can't get any benefits when facing them. Luffy shook his head and said to Kula. General, I just haven't seen them for a long time, so I'm a little happy. Next time, I won't dare to do it. Kula said hurriedly after hearing this. No need to do that, let's go, let's make the armor first. Luffy shook his head and took a few people to the location of the spaceship. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 73, the sermon ends and the spiritual treasures are divided. 100 years later, Xingtian's team came back again, brought a set of armor summoners from Lufa, and found the inheritance of 3 people as secret cultivators, Tibetan cultivators, and magic cultivators. Although Lufa has been here for a long time, the chat group has not passed for a few days. Recently, Yingzhen has been practicing the Luck Dynasty method that he got in the chat group. He plans to use his own great gene as the foundation to practice the Luck Dynasty, one step at a time. One step leads to eternal life. As for the history he had seen before, he believed that as long as he was alive, Zhao Gao and Hu Hai would not dare to cause trouble. If he died unexpectedly one day, someone would secretly execute Zhao Gao. Without Zhao Gao's support, Hu Hai was not a threat. It was just that the young master Fusu was a bit too dull and had a study-obsessed temperament, which made him quite helpless. The first emperor is a bit fast. We have only been in the chat group for a few days, and you have already reached the peak of the first level. Conan couldn't help but sigh when he saw another person who was about to surpass him. Yingzhen was originally just an ordinary person. He knew some self-defense skills, but he was not outstanding in other aspects. But now, not long after, he has reached the peak of the first level, and soon entered the second level and surpassed Conan. He should be the one with the slowest progress in cultivation. Everyone is joking. I only have the support of one country. Except for the remnants of the 6 countries, no one in the country will resist my will. With the power of one country to help me, my cultivation progress is still very good. Yingzhen is not here. Dare to call yourself me, after all, anyone is better than me. After looking at the time for a while, he returned directly to his original body. At this time, Hung Jun was giving his 3rd sermon in the wilderness. Shichen only went there once when Hung Jun preached for the first time, and his children went to listen to other sermons. After all, it was of no use to him. The 3rd sermon was about the realm between a quasi-sage and a saint, and his method of killing 3 corpses to attain enlightenment was also spread throughout the prehistoric world. The so-called method of killing 3 corpses requires the use of 3 magic weapons, placing one's own 3 corpses on them, and then cutting out a clone. The 3 corpses are divided into the corpse of good thoughts, the corpse of evil thoughts, and the corpse of the self. If the 3 corpses are successfully combined into one can achieve the pinnacle of quasi-sage, and then refine the foundation of the Great Road, the Hongmeng Purple Chi, and one can become a saint. It sounds wonderful, but it requires the most critical Hongmeng Purple Chi. Thousands of years later, Hung Jun finished his 3rd sermon, and then accepted San King and Nuwa as his disciples. Zunti would definitely betray Taoism in the future, so he had to be accepted as a registered disciple. Then, he told everyone about the Hongmeng Purple Chi necessary for becoming a saint. After hearing this, everyone quickly asked Hung Jun, I hope the teacher will take pity on us and grant us Hongmeng Purple Chi. Seeing this, Hong Jun seemed to be thinking, and then directly handed 3 rays of Hongmeng Purple Chi to Sand King. The 3 pure ones are transformed by the Yuan Shen of Pangu, and possess the merits of opening up the heavens, so they can obtain the Hongmeng Purple Chi. Thank you, teacher. Sand King quickly put away the Hongmeng Purple Chi and thanked Hong Jun. When the remaining people saw that Hong Jun really had Hongmeng Purple Chi, they quickly looked at Hong Jun eagerly. New WA will have great good fortune in the future, and she will receive a ray of Hongmeng Purple Chi. After saying this, she handed over a ray of Hongmeng Purple Chi to Nuwa again. Thank you, teacher. Nuwa was so excited when she saw this, she quickly thanked Hong Jun. Then, as if he didn't see anyone else, Hong Jun began to close his eyes and rest. Zunti was a little anxious when he saw this. How come they all have seeds? Everyone else has Hongmeng Purple Chi, but they are the only 2 brothers who don't. Are they looking down on us in the west? Thinking of this, the 2 of them knelt down in front of Hong Jun and cried loudly, please also ask the teacher to read me the Western Barrenness and grant me the Hongmeng Purple Chi. Oh, that's all. I'll tell you about these 2 rays of Hongmeng Purple Chi. As if he felt a little sorry for them, Hong Jun sighed softly and handed the 2 rays of Hongmeng Purple Chi to Zunti. Seeing that he could still be like this, the others lost face for a moment and cried to Hong Jun. Okay, how can you behave like this? There is still one last burst of Hongmeng Purple Chi, let's give it to Hong Yun. With that said, he directly injected the Hongmeng Purple Chi into Hong Yun's body. Hong Yun was quite happy looking at the Hongmeng Purple Chi, but he didn't know that this was a matter of life and death for him. Seeing that there was no more Hongmeng Purple Chi, everyone unanimously looked at Hong Yun. This guy was not the disciple of Dao ancestor. If he was killed, would he be able to get the Hongmeng Purple Chi? Teacher, although we have the Hongmeng Purple Chi, we don't have a few magic weapons at our disposal. Please give me a few. Taking suddenly requested at this time. Forget it, I'll leave this Tai Chi diagram to you. With that said, he handed the innate treasure Tai Chi diagram directly to Taking. Later, Pangu banner was given to Yuan Chitianzan. When the master of Tongtian came, he took out the 4 swords and formation of the demon ancestor Luahu. This was refined by the demon ancestor Rehu back then. Although it cannot suppress luck, once you become a saint and set up this sword array, it cannot be broken except by the power of the 4 saints. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. Although this formation was only a top quality innate spiritual treasure and could not suppress luck, it was so powerful that it could not be broken except by the power of the 4 saints. Then he gave Nuwa red hydrangea and a map of mountains and rivers, and Zunti received the golden lotus of 12 grades of merit and the 8 treasures merit pool. After distributing the good things to several of his disciples, he then said directly, there are some spiritual treasures that I have collected in the past on the Fenbeo cliff outside Xixiao Palace. You all will depend on your chance. I will join the Tao here. From now on, Hong Jun is the way of heaven, but the way of heaven is not Hong Jun, and he will not be able to escape unless there is a great calamity of heaven and earth. After saying that, Hong Jun closed his eyes directly, and everyone knew that he was going to drive people away. Without time to think, everyone rushed to the treasure dividing cliff. After a long time, Qi Yang and Bai Yu came out of Xixiao Palace and returned to Shichen. How is it? Did you gain anything this time? Shichen closed his eyes, but a voice came to the 2 of them. Replying to the master, we have learned the method of beheading the 3 corpses to prove the truth, and we have a great understanding of proving the truth of Han Yuan in the future. I am afraid that it will not take long for us to achieve Han Yuan. At this time, the 2 of them have also reached the late stage of Quasi Sage, and they will reach the peak in a short time. If they have the help of Shichen, they will soon achieve Han Yuan. Go down and practice well. Shichen nodded. After hearing this, the 2 bowed to Shichen and left, and went directly back to their respective rooms to practice. After everyone returned to the prehistoric world, a wave of searching for innate spiritual treasures was set off, and those people or races who had good innate spiritual treasures were in trouble. After Hong Yun returned to the prehistoric world, he lived in Zhen Yuan's Taoist temple. Zhen Yuan was worried that his Hongmeng Purple Chi would attract the covetousness of others, so he let him stay in his Taoist temple. As the ancestor of Earth Immortals, Zhen Yuan also has the protection of the Earth Fetal Membrane of the Earth Book, which can be said to be the top defensive treasure in the prehistoric world. In this way, Hong Yun practiced in Zhen Yuan's Taoist temple for 10,000 years, and gradually forgot that there were people in the outside world who coveted his Hongmeng Purple Chi. On this day, Zhen Yuan happened to be out for something, but Hong Yun had a whim. Thinking that it would be boring to stay here all the time, he planned to leave here and go for a walk. As soon as Hong Yun went out, he was noticed by countless prehistoric great powers who were paying attention to this place. As the saying goes, a single move can move the whole body. As soon as Hong Yun came out, he attracted countless sharks that smelled the fishy smell and rushed over.